I've run one marathon. Do not miscategorize me as a quote marathon runner. But yes, I was very proud to run one marathon that almost killed me. And I had virtual instant regrets. I had this thing on the side of one of my toes that looked like an eyeball. And literally when I don't want to go into all the details because it's too disgusting. You're not going to be able to handle it. But it was like, I mean, it was a tad bit of a traumatic experience. So the idea of running another one is like, maybe, hey, I just turned 50. So when I ran my first marathon, I want to say I was about 45. And so, now at 50, maybe you say maybe at 55, I'll try to get back on the wagon. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about it. So yeah, we've got this guy that we have now been acquainted with just outside of Waco. His name's Jason, served our country in a very honorable fashion, retired from the military, and then tragically got injured post-military, his post-military career, and has found himself basically taking care of at this incredible sanctuary, which also doubles as his home, about 24 horses. And just when we thought about an opportunity for Bobcat and Chip Gaines and now Jason and this incredible nonprofit that he has here in Gatesville to all come together and do something that was really impactful, this is what shook out. Started like literally trying to figure out how to keep horses from basically having to go through like a kill process. And he was just like, hey, I want that horse. I don't want it to have to die. So he brought that horse home. One horse turned into 24. But then he started having some of his old vet buddies come to his property and kind of hang out and help him with some of these chores, which was taking care of these 24 incredible animals. And he started realizing, man, if I could put these two together, the horses and some of the things that obviously they need practically on a daily basis, and some of these retired and disabled vets, and how do I give back in that context, and to see all of those things come together in this beautiful moment was very really humbling. I mean, it makes you kind of wonder what you're doing with your life. I think Joe and I, my wife Joanna, aka Joe, endearingly Joe, have always had kind of philanthropy built into our DNA. Back in the early days, Joe and I were just a normal couple from Waco, Texas. At that time, we had 4 young babies when the show kind of came online and found us, and obviously took us into this from a very obscure kind of normal existence to a much more public reality that we sort of understand today. It's just become part of who we are now, and this platform gives us an opportunity to really step in to really practical, big, real big, audacious opportunities. And today's a perfect example. I mean, we've got this beautiful piece of equipment that Jason just quite frankly could not afford and wouldn't have been able to put together as it relates to this incredible sanctuary that he's built for all these horses. The Bobcat team and myself were able to kind of bridge that gap and give him something that is going to make his life much easier. We've talked about just the practical nature. I mean, this track loader is like the equivalent of having 50 employees or 50 buddies that'll help you on the weekend. And when you kind of put that all in context, I mean, this is really going to change his life. And Joe and I were just thrilled to do it. And I don't say this publicly often, but it was like I was a fairly confident. I'm going to say the word confident because it's better than the alternatives that are actually coming to mind. I was a very confident 20-something, thought the world was my oyster. And in fairness, it kind of was. I was one of these kids that kind of like, now that I'm 50, look back, and I kind of peaked in high school, I'm not going to lie. But high school and college were just like that was my era. I mean, I did all that you could possibly imagine and then some. And people would vote me like most likely to succeed. Why? I was terrible at school, not terribly smart. But I meet Joe, who was a little bit of a wallflower in her earlier, when she was in high school and college, she probably would have been a little bit quieter, a little more bashful. But as God would have it, she and I were like ships passing in the night. And as I think about Joe and this incredible opportunity that God has blessed us with. I mean, it's just like, I thought I was going to be a superstar, but it turned out the universe had a totally different idea in mind. And she has become just this incredible leader. We've got this beautiful company of which 2/3 are female. I mean, we're here in Waco, Texas, and the impact that we've had on this community, it's like, I wish I could take credit for it because I feel like I should have been picked in this way, but instead it was Joe that was bound to be the superstar. So I feel in some ways that in regards to these shows that you're referring to, she's done a couple of cooking shows without me. She's done a show called Mini Rennie without me. And it's just like I've launched this superstar into the universe, and I could not be more proud. I don't know a whole lot about Oprah Winfrey, but it's just like she's got this long-running boyfriend named Stedman, and I'm just like, I wonder if Stedman and I would have a lot in common. Like I could call Stedman and be like, do you feel insecure about your role as it relates to your relationship with Oprah? Or are you cool with all this? And if he's cool with it, I'd be like, well, so am I. Maybe this was what we were meant to do all along. What's gotten so ironic about it, because back in my roaring 20s, I was kind of an independent dude. I could go do all the things all by myself. I didn't really need anybody and had a real high level of confidence. Now, to be really frank, the fact that you and I are on this phone call and I'm out in this field giving Jason this incredible piece of equipment without Joe, I feel a little insecure. Like I need her here, but then I find to the contrary, she doesn't really need me on the cooking show. She's fine, she's got it. We've definitely evolved in our older age in almost a sarcastic way. Like I've become a little more bashful. I'm a tad insecure, dare I say. And Joe has become like this force to be reckoned with. So strange. I've also never said this publicly. Joanna's name is Joanna. And it should, God bless, that's a beautiful name. Her God-given name is Joanna. I don't know why early on we all started calling her JoJo. So there were two Joes put together to form one nickname, AKA JoJo. Well, that was phase one. Phase two, that was too long. So everybody just started calling her Joe and dropped the second JoJo. I started calling her Joey. I have no earthly idea where this came from. And then when I'm mad at her, I don't know if this is relatable, but you know, when you like call somebody by their first, middle, and last name and you know, oh no, I'm in huge trouble, I call her Joseph Daniel as her long formal name when she knows there's something sort of that's irritating me in the context. So I have no idea where all of these names came from. If she was like a criminal, it'd be like AKA, AKA, AKA. You'd never be able to list all of the nicknames that have evolved around Joanna Gaines's ecosystem. But I think I've sort of like coined at least two or three of them personally. So I take a lot of credit for this. So you're saying that the public likes the short haircut. Is that what you're saying? Dang it. I'm so convinced that I'm a better human with long hair, and not like better morality. I probably am a bit rowdier with long hair. It's probably a good decision that I keep my hair short, but anytime I cut it short, I feel like, gosh, that's the boring decision that any old person might make. And so I'm always like desperate to grow it long again, but I think it's pretty clear that I definitely do better with a short head of hair. And Joe would definitely agree with you. She was like begging me for her birthday present. That everybody says that I talk too much. Everybody says I can be a shade narcissistic. And I was like, that doesn't feel fair that for your birthday, you're gonna ask that I get a haircut. But here, now after the fact, I'm glad she prompted me to do it.